This is a podcast from soof.co.uk. Hello, I'm Patrick Downs. This is all about film, whether it be Blu-ray, DVD or streaming. This is Bring the Film. In Sing 2, Can-Do Koala, Buster Moon and his all-star cast of animal performers prepare to launch a dazzling staged extravaganza in the glittering entertainment capital of the world. There's just one hitch. He has to find and persuade the world's most reclusive rock star to join them. What begins as Buster's dream of big-time success soon becomes an emotional reminder of the power of music to heal even the most broken heart.
That was awful.
Come on, Johnny. You can do better.
He's freaking me out.
Johnny.
I'm trying. Thrust, and thrust. You're not thrusting, Johnny.
Come
thrust.
on. Thrust.
Still not thrusting. Can you thrust, please? 5, 6, 7, and tippy toes. I don't see your tippy toes.
Oh, come on. He's having a laugh. Tippy toes. Come on. Let's go.
7, and that is rubbish. Terribly poor.
Directed by Garth, Jennings, starring Matthew McConaughey, Reese Witherspoon, Scarlett Johansson, Taron Egerton, Tori, Halsey, Pharrell, and Bono. So to Matthew McConaughey, what can people expect to see in this film?
Sing 2, there's a lot more of me as Buster on the ropes, just hanging on by a thread, just trying to survive, not thriving, surviving, and holding water until I get some help from my friends and we all come together and pull off the coup and put the show on. It's another great thing about Buster. He's a hustler, which is a side of me that I like to tap into with him. Sometimes you gotta break a few rules to pull it off.
What do you think the difference is between this and the first film?
The dreams are getting bigger. The road trip is longer. It's got more potholes, more resistance. The consequences are larger if we do not succeed. The consequences are larger if we do succeed. There's more at stake.
Tell us more about the songs from U2 like I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, the feature in the film.
U2, one of the greatest rock bands ever. Some of their songs, Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. That'll be an introduction, first-time introduction to many young men and women and kids around the world. That'll be the first time they heard it. And it'll hold up as an absolute instant classic.
And what about the positive, inspirational messages in the film and the fun audiences will have watching this?
Come as you are with your own song. Take the lid off, take the roof off. It's a very interactive experience. If you know the song, sing along with them. You want to get up and dance in your seat? This is a great time to do it. We need good news. We had enough bad news. We need the fairy tale. We need the blue ribbon. We need the impossible made possible. And that's what's fun about it. So you go, how are they going to figure this out? How are they going to pull it off?
And Reese Witherspoon plays Rosita, but how much did the first Sing film resonate with children and families, you think?
Of all the movies I've ever done, more people come up to me about this movie because it resonated so much with their family and their kids. The kids have the songs memorized, the dances memorized, they have favorite characters. And so returning to something that's so beloved, it's really exciting because you want to bring all that fun and beautiful music and you want to do it again and even at a higher level with more great characters, and I think we really nailed it.
And what was it about Bono and Pharrell joining the cast?
It's such an incredible cast already, and then to add Bono and Pharrell, it's like dreams come true. And they would be like, oh, you're going to come in and record right after Tori, and then right before Scarlett, and then Pharrell is coming in, and I was like, I can't believe that I'm part of this movie.
Tell me more about working again with director Garth Jennings.
Working with Garth is such a great experience because he truly feels every character's journey. He can walk you through every beat, every moment. I feel like he loves to act out the characters for you as he's doing it. And he just has like childlike enthusiasm for this world, which is perfect because you feel his joy in the movie.
So what do you love about your character and why mothers can relate to her?
The thing I love about Rosita is that she's a mom who's so worried about her kids. You know, she does everything for other people, but she has this dream in her heart, and it's a big deal that her family supports her, her kids support her, her husband supports her, because she's a human beyond all of that hard work, you know, beyond her being a caregiver. She's got dreams and hopes, and I think that's something that really resonates with a lot of moms that see this show, and also with kids, that, you know, we learn that our parents are just these completely other people that have lives. I think that's really resonates with audiences and families.
Do you think this film will bring joy to filmgoers?
It's time for people to get together and feel just joy. Joy, friendship, family, connecting. You can take your grandparents, you can take your 2-year-old. It's one of those movies that should be seen with a group of people and sing out loud and dance in the aisles, have some fun. I think we all deserve it.
And what was it like singing the Ariana Grande song Break Free.
And it was so fun. I love her so much. And singing Break Free, it just felt like there was a song in my heart and it just had to come out. And it was Break Free. And I didn't even know until I got to sing it.
That volcano should have been finished yesterday.
We're on it, Miss Crawley.
You baby! Me and Darius, taking from the top of this time, put a little juice in it with that.
I'm trying my best, Miss Crawley.
A little juice.
Hey, everybody!
You're 2 hours late for rehearsal.
Wait, where's the koala? Who are you?
I'm in charge, that's who. Now get your tail to wardrobe, sweetheart.
And Scarlett Johansson plays Ash, but what was most exciting about being part of Sing 2 and the direction your character was heading in?
The exciting thing was kind of discovering what the next step was going to be for her and talking to Garth for the first time and understanding where the character's trajectory was headed. And, I think Ash in the first film, she's got this kind of like deadbeat relationship she's in with this kind of jerky guy, and when she finally dumps him and she realizes like, wow, I actually deserve a seat at the table. She discovers her own self-worth. And in this film, she uses that experience to help another character discover or rediscover their voice and move through a really difficult moment in their life. And I think that's very admirable.
What was it like working with Garth Jennings?
I think Garth has such an boyish enthusiasm. I mean, he's just, firstly, maybe the nicest person I think I've ever met, which I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. How can you actually be that nice? But he genuinely is, and he's just so emotionally available. And I mean, there's been plenty of times where we were recording and he got misty-eyed and wasn't afraid to let us all know that he was crying. And just, he's just a very real person. He's very unique and genuine and very much himself. I love that. I love working with other creative people that are also willing to show their soft underbelly, because that's what I do in my job, and to feel like my director is also right there with me gives me the confidence to let it all loose and let it all hang out and try new things.
Been a lot going on around the world with lockdowns, but what is the hopeful quality about this film and the joy of releasing it at the moment?
When I was recording Sing 2, we were still in lockdown, and I was in a really isolated place during the lockdown, so just being able to go to work and see Garth, even though it was through a video chat, and be with an engineer, even though they were between 5 layers of soundproof glass and whatever. It's still, it was my only opportunity to really perform, and we were working on something that was coming out in the future, and it felt hopeful, we were still doing something that we would eventually all be together to enjoy. And it's just the fact that the film is coming out now when, in fact, everybody can get together and enjoy it in person is just a wonderful timing. It just feels like the right movie right now, and it's going to be just such a delight to get to experience this film, particularly because it's so uplifting and so much about togetherness, actually together.
Now, what about your duet with Bono?
So I didn't even get to really hear our song, the duet with Bono, until not even that long ago. And I think because I was living in all this secrecy and everything, I didn't really have time to process it. And now I'm processing it because everybody's heard it, and I just can't believe it's being shared with the world. It's very, very surreal, but it's awesome.
And what's it like about the anticipation of watching this in the cinema?
I cannot imagine seeing Sing 2 with an audience. It'll be my first time back in the theater with everybody. And, I personally in Sing 1, by the time the third act happened, I was losing it. I was crying, I was cheering, I was throwing popcorn in the air. And, my daughter was having her whole experience with the third act, we were simultaneously freaking out. And so now, the movie there's so many more talents in this, even this time, Pharrell and Halsey and Bono and like all these, it's just the star power and it's like unimaginable. And it's just, and the songs are like so exciting and over the top and huge. And yeah, I mean, it's like definitely going to be a very exciting night out. And it's so great that we can bring the whole family too, because I think my daughter loves this movie as much as my mom. And how many movies can you say that about?
Taron Egerton returns as Johnny, but what was the experience of making the first film and the excitement of being involved in this one?
The experience of making the first one will be something I remember forever, because the audience reaction to the first film was just so extreme and brilliant. You know, I remember the first time we saw it, there was something like, you know, in excess of 8 to 10 sort of spontaneous rounds of applause, because it just had so many moments that just made you want to jump out of your seat and clap and cheer. Garth and everybody behind the scenes just got this great instinct for making something that feels celebratory and joyous, and so to re-enter this world and revisit such a lovely character, you know, is a dream come true.
What exactly appeals to you about your character?
I think Johnny's great because he's not totally sure. He's never completely certain, and I like the fact that he has to sort of work to get to the point where he feels like he can express himself and enjoy performing in the way that he wants to. He has obstacles sort of outside and within himself that he has to overcome, and I just think that's inspiring and lovely.
And what was it like being in a recording studio with Garth Jennings, the writer-director?
When you walk into one of those recording sessions, it begins with Garth explaining everything he's been up to and that the team have been up to since the last time I was there, and then contextualizing whatever bit of the story we're dealing with and sort of telling me where this bit of singing or where this bit of dialogue fits in the story and why it needs whatever quality of energy. And it's always, you know, a delight and a surprise to hear about new ideas and how the story's been developed and where they're heading to.
Tell me more about recreating A Sky Full of Stars by Coldplay for the film.
I think there's always something really exciting about taking a song that we all know and are familiar with and trying to sort of transpose it onto a specific situation. And with my song in the movie, Sky Full of Stars, the Coldplay song, it's got this really specific situation with two characters in conflict, and so there's a story that you can kind of play through the song, and that's really, really fun. There's a creative challenge in that for Garth and Harvey and everybody, but also for me in the singing.
Buster?
You gotta be kidding me.
Hold still. What are you doing in there?
The first time I leave home in 15 years, and what do I find? The show's off, and this guy's hiding in a suitcase.
No, don't open the door.
Directed by Garth Jennings, starring Matthew McConaughey, Reese Witherspoon, Scarlett Johansson, Taron Egerton, Tori Kelly, Halsey, Pharrell, and Bono. Tori Kelly plays Mina, but tell me about your character's journey and how he represents the wider themes of the film.
In the first film, people resonated with her desire to want to, you know, achieve these big dreams that she had, but there was something holding her back. And I think that's really what the theme of Sing is, you know, is how do we achieve these dreams and pursue these dreams that we have?
What exactly can an audience expect from the experience of Sing 2?
It's just really hard to not smile when you're watching this movie, and it's such a feel-good movie. Definitely cried though also. You'll cry, you'll laugh, you'll sing, you'll dance. It gives you all the feels, and yeah, I can't wait to see it with like my niece and nephew and just the kids in my family, and it'll be really fun.
Garth Jennings is the writer-director, but what was it about this film being more ambitious than the previous one?
We are doing exactly what the characters in the movie are doing. We were trying to go way above and beyond what we could do with the first movie. We were, in every aspect, we were just trying to take it to that next level. And so rather like Buster, and we found ourselves in situations that were extraordinary. Whether it was a casting thing like someone like Halsey or Bono, working with people of that caliber, or just building sets and trying to create set pieces like the opening sequence, a 4-minute Prince number set to an Alice in Wonderland sort of theme. Everything was wildly ambitious.
And what about the involvement of U2 and Bono?
You can imagine my joy when I heard that he'd not only enjoyed the first Sing movie, but when he heard what the character was and what it kind of represented within the story, he connected with that. He was just enthusiasm from the start. Curiosity and enthusiasm in equal measure. Really, I mean, you couldn't ask for more. So in terms of like me as a human, as a fan of you two, it was mind-blowing. But then in terms of being a director and knowing that this character is going to be voiced by Bono, it's as good as it gets.
Why is the cinema the perfect place to see this film with your family?
There is something unique about the cinema, the theatres, that is so perfect for Sing. Sing 2 is just the scale of it, whether it's the sound or the visuals or just the whole emotional ambition. If you're sitting there with hundreds of people and you're all swept up, it's quite something. And so far when I've watched it with audiences, it's been quite profound. It's almost been like being at a rock concert towards the end. We're all in it together, all cheering for these characters.
Sing 2 is available now. And with that, thanks for checking me out on the Bring the Film podcast today. I'm Patrick Downs, and you can keep in touch across Twitter at I'm Patrick Downs, also on Instagram or facebook.com/official Pop Tart. And there's also the website soof.co.uk. This is a podcast from soof.co.uk.